Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a weekend update. I'm not sure what we're going to be channeling yet, so we're just going to pull some cards and see what's going on, either ascension energy wise or sacred union wise, divine masculine, divine feminine. We'll see what wants to come out. I felt the call to come on and pull some cards. So I do want to mention that we had some channel messages over on Instagram and on Facebook today. The energy today was heavy. Now, it wasn't bad, not negative. It wasn't even intense. It was just very, very strong. The energy was strong. Especially, you might have been feeling it in your physical body. What I had channeled was that I wanted to see what was going on. So I connected with my guides. I felt a very strong pull to just kind of hermit today, to go within, to reconnect with myself, to rebalance myself. And as a result of that, or in congruence with that, I felt a lot of physical sensations happening within my body. My legs felt very heavy, my feet felt very heavy, and my spirit guides told me that that's because there is a lot of light activations and codes that are coming in to help us anchor in New Earth 5D energies. And so our physical body, especially when it comes to DNA strand activations, are experiencing a lot of that physicality, so to speak. We're going to be experiencing that upgrade in our energy field, in our body, our physical body. So heart expansions you might have been feeling, pulsating, palpitations, actual heart aches, back pain from that as well. You might have been experiencing whole body aches, especially with regards to the legs and the feet. They told me that that's actually grounding the energy into the earth, where you're actually feeling the energy from your crown chakra pour down into your crown chakra through your chakra systems and your body into your feet chakras to be grounded into the earth. And throat chakra activations as well. You might have been having a sore throat or a scratchy throat, a chakra clearing of the throat to move you more into ascension and your mission work. That's for ascension and your mission work, is what I was told. They said that rest is essential. You might be feeling a little bit woozy or otherworldly at this time, so do make sure that you're resting. There might also be some emotional purging, as far as more layers of ego being purged. For divine masculine, it seems like it is rejection and abandonment wounds. I'm going to put a link to the channel messages on abandonment in the description box below if you've missed it. We have been talking about that for the past few weeks, the past few months, but that seems to be coming back up to the surface, especially for the masculine energy. For feminine energy, it seems to be around being manipulated, feeling used, feeling, just manipulation, energy, feeling used, feeling taken for granted, taken advantage of. Remember that you do hold both energies within you, masculine and feminine, so take it as it resonates for you. You might be feeling one or both. You might be transmuting for your partner as well. So take that into consideration. Now, that's not to blame your partner, because remember, you're in this together. So if you are transmuting for your partner, just appreciate your partner for what they're going through as well. But this is all for transmuting, and it doesn't feel like it's big purges. It just feels like a recentering is needed, a rebalancing. What they're giving me is the word recalibration is what's necessary. So these purges don't feel like you're getting triggered, but it doesn't feel like massive purges, like massive emotional upheaval. It just feels like little pinpricks, and it's so that you can realign and come back to your center. And that word recalibration feels completely appropriate, because that feels like what it is, especially with the call to go within again, especially with the call to align back with yourself, to reconnect back with yourself, the soul of yourself, to find your center again. That's really what today was really all about. If you were feeling this, you might have been feeling this a couple of days before. You might be feeling this a couple of days after. Take it as it resonates for you. Everybody's going to be at a little bit of a different time frame here. They did tell me it should only last between 24 and 48 hours, so this energy should clear. Do make sure that you're resting. Make sure that you're staying hydrated with plenty of water. And do make sure that you're connecting with the sun and earth energies as well if you're able to, because that will help for the balancing as well. Yeah, I'm just reading what I had written, what I had channeled. Returning to a state of inner union within the self. Yeah, that's that really recalibration energy. Returning to that state of balance. Returning to center again. Coming back to connection within the self. So you may have been hermiting a little bit today, called for some peace, some quiet. You might have been called to rest and to sleep, but it's all to refocus back on the self, to recenter yourself, to find that inner peace and recalibrate for that union energy. So yeah, let me know if you guys were experiencing that today. All right, so we're going to pull some cards and see what is going on. Queen of Pentacles just showed itself. That nurturing energy feels really like self-nurturing energy, but let's see what's going on. I feel like this is a sacred partner energy update, but let's see what's going on, particularly going into the weekend with these energies. Spirit, what do you want to talk about today? Let's get 3 cards. What do you want to talk about today? What do you want to talk about today, Spirit? What do you want to talk about today? Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Big energies coming in. Okay. Remember, I'm an intuitive reader, so when I pull the cards, I base it off of the messages and the energy that Spirit is giving me. I don't do spreads. I just pull cards and see what they give me, especially when it comes to reversals. I usually just take the energies, upright or reverse, it doesn't matter. This came out in reverse, and I felt the energy of the reversal, so I'm keeping it in the reverse just for the showcase of it. So do remember that. Okay. Big energies coming in, and here's what I'm getting. This feels like divine masculine energy. We're going to check in on the divine feminine as well. This feels really like clarity is coming in. They're pointing me immediately. You see the blend of the blues and the purples here. This really feels like they're connecting to their feminine energy. The feminine energy really resides in the higher chakras, the crown chakra, the brow chakra, and the throat chakra. The masculine energy really resides in the lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. We channeled this from the very beginning of the channel here, where you hold both energies within you. So that's that inner union, that's that balancing. What happens is the masculine energy rises, the feminine energy brings that template down, really connecting to the divine and the higher dimensions, and brings that template down so that you meet on what was channeled to me, the bridge of the heart, which is the heart space. You meet on the bridge. You meet in the 4th chakra, the bridge of the heart there. What I really feel is happening here is the masculine energy is really connecting to their feminine energy. And in the past few readings, we had talked about masculine energy, divine masculine specifically, had been experiencing a lot of distorted feminine energy in their physical environment. This could be mother figures, children, sisters, friends, other romantic partners or past partners, who had really embodied that distorted energy of feminine energy. And what was happening is when they met their divine feminine, it kind of shook them because they had not experienced that divine feminine energy. Even if you were still healing your divine feminine energy, divine feminines, you're still the embodiment of the divine feminine, of their divine feminine. That unconditional love, you still held that template. And so they had not experienced that before, and so that is what was intense for them, and in a way it frightened them, because that was showing them the distorted feminine energy within them, the template that they were holding where they had been suppressed. They weren't able to express themselves. They had repressed their emotions, especially with regards to male masculine energy, because of the patriarchy, because of societal programming and conditioning. They have often been told to man up, or you can't cry. Now, female masculine energy had also experienced this, so I'm not trying to pivot either direction. We're really talking about energies and not gender here. But when we're talking about the global context, when we're talking about the context of society and conditioning and the patriarchy that we have been conditioned to, we're really understanding that feminine energy had really been suppressed, particularly in that masculine field, where again they couldn't express their emotions, they couldn't express their creativity, they couldn't express how they were feeling, they couldn't grieve, they couldn't cry. They were expected to be the man of the house, so to speak, or to run a business, or to handle the finances, or whatever it was that almost toxic or distorted masculinity. And because of that distortion, their feminine energy had been so repressed. But here what's happening is, over the past few months, especially for my collective, I want to say, especially for those of them who are really going through their ascension and awakening, what's happening during that ascension and awakening is their feminine energy is rising within them. They're feeling their emotions, and they're learning that it is not only okay to feel their emotions, but it's healthy to express their emotions. Their heart has been cracked open. A long time ago, I can't remember which reading it was, one of the visuals Spirit had given me it was like their heart had been encased in ice, and now it was cracking open. They were hiding behind this dam, this wall that they had built, and there were all of these holes in the dam, so that all of a sudden the dam was flooding forth with their emotions. I mean, their Spirit had given me so many metaphors for this over the course of the past year or so, but that's what's happening, is they're feeling the full force of their emotions. Now what I'm feeling is they've been integrating that energy, especially over the past few weeks, especially with this past Scorpio full moon, which created a major transformation. We have Scorpio energy with this death card here. It's created a major transformation within them, where they're really integrating their mind, that logical aspect, especially with this King of Swords here, the logical aspect of their mind with the emotion that they're feeling within their heart space. And I feel like with the Two of Swords, they wanted me to keep it in reverse. Two of Swords, they're making decisions now. That blindfold, the wool that they had pulled over their eyes, that self-deception and that denial over how they were feeling for their divine feminines especially, but this could also relate to their life as a whole, where they might have been feeling controlled, where they might have been feeling held back, where they might have been feeling like they needed to pursue other avenues because of expectations or obligations or duties, or because they thought that was their dream and they couldn't foresee another path for themselves. Take the situation as it does resonate for you. It's going to be different for everybody. But now that wool is being pulled back and that deceptive energy is being brought to light, and they're seeing very clearly themselves, that self-awareness energy that came through with the last reading, taking accountability for their life, taking control of their life, taking charge of their life, and making decisions for their best and brightest future. Now, here with the King of Swords energy, I really feel like this is an energy of clarity, and that's what I'm picking up on as well. That level of self-awareness, where they were recognizing that they were putting themselves out in the cold. With this Five of Pentacles, they were just abandoning themselves, where they had once looked at their divine feminine or their family members or friends as having rejected them or abandoned them. And it was interesting that came through in the channel messages today, that's what masculine energy might be purging today, where they might have felt like they were holding on to Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Interesting. 2 5s here. This is an energy of change and transformation where they are letting go of this energy. But in the past, I feel like where they might have looked at others as having rejected them or abandoned them, where they were holding on so tightly to past heartbreak and past pain, repeating those cycles, repeating those karmic loops, because they were holding on to this belief that whoever was in their life had rejected them or abandoned them if they, for whatever reason it was, they were looking through the lens of their own trauma. They were looking through the lens of that past heartbreak, not seeing that that was their trauma, not seeing that that was their own pain, not seeing that that was their own healing that they had to go through, that they, in essence, were abandoning themselves and rejecting themselves because they needed to heal those aspects of themselves where they were looking at the other person and saying, you're rejecting me, you're abandoning me because of X, Y, and Z. Now, I feel like they're turning around and they're looking at those 2 cups that are still there and they're saying, oh, I can turn this around. I can transform this. I can look at this from a different perspective where I wasn't abandoned and I wasn't rejected. That was just the story that I've been playing over and over in my mind. They're receiving this truth. They're receiving this clarity. They're not looking at it anymore from an emotional, wounded standpoint. They're not feeling it in their heart space anymore. That sting of rejection, that sting of abandonment. Now they're looking at it almost like from a logical standpoint where it's like they're being the observer. They're being more objective. They're pulling back and looking at it from that bird's eye view, from that soul's perspective, from that higher perspective. And that's really what ascension is all about. Ascension is not being so tunnel visioned or narrow focused, narrow minded, and looking at it as it seems to be, the illusions of what it seems to be, but really pulling back and saying, oh, what is this experience teaching me? What is it actually showing me? What is the wounding that is still here? And how can I heal from that? That's really what this clarity is coming in. And because of that, it's completely transforming them. It's putting an end to that old cycle of abandonment, that old cycle of rejection, that old cycle of neglect. It's putting an end to that trauma or that heartbreak that they had experienced. They're putting an end to looking at the past with a sense of continuous heartbreak in order to move forward, in order to completely transform and move forward for their life. This is fascinating. I'm going to continue with the Divine Masculine here. This feels like really positive forward motion and transformative energy for the Divine Masculine. It really feels like there's clarity coming in, like they're really opening up to seeing themselves, and not only seeing themselves, but from a higher perspective, from that soul's perspective. This really is ascension energy for Divine Masculines, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And also, what I'm hearing is when they're thinking, they're being more mindful of their thoughts. They're associating with their emotions from a more balanced place. But when they're thinking, and these Divine Masculines have been, oh man, they overthink. These Divine Masculines think and think and think and think and think. But what I'm getting is that's transforming as well, where they're becoming more balanced within themselves, with their thoughts as well, more mindful of their thoughts, and more objective with their thoughts, more conscious of their thoughts and the stories that they're telling themselves. Because I also feel like these Divine Masculines have been telling themselves stories, creating stories based on this past heartbreak, and that's what's been holding them in this karmic loop. So, for example, say if their Divine Feminine triggered some kind of rejection or abandonment within them based on something simple. Say a Divine Feminine wasn't able to talk or meet with them. It triggered abandonment and rejection, and Divine Masculine would create a story within themselves based on this past pain and past heartbreak. And they would be so laser focused on that past pain and past heartbreak that they wouldn't see the truth of the 2 cups behind them, that it wasn't rejection, that it wasn't abandonment. But now they're being more conscious of their thoughts. They're being more conscious of the story that their mind creates, and they're pulling back from that and being more of an observer of their thoughts. rather than creating a story and attaching a story to their thoughts and their emotions. So this feels like a huge transformation. And we had channeled that it felt like on the heels of the Scorpio full moon that there was going to be major shifts that were occurring. That's what I feel like is happening here. This feels like a major transformation in the consciousness of the Divine Masculine. So that feels really, really powerful. Six of Cups. What's going on for these Divine Masculines? Six of Cups, Five of Swords, Nine of Pentacles with Strength. Why is Five of Swords here? What's with the Five of Swords here? This Five of Swords actually feels good. This energy actually feels like it's with the Strength card. It feels like Divine Masculine has been overcoming themselves. With the Five of Swords, what I usually get from that energy is it's an internal battle. It's a mental battle. It's conflict between the heart and the ego. The heart and the mind, but really the ego here. Learning how to listen to their intuition versus their ego. And that's what I feel like is happening here. I feel like Divine Masculine is becoming victorious. With the Six of Cups here, this really feels like that inner union energy between feminine and masculine energy. It could be outer union if you are connecting with your Divine Masculine, or if Divine Masculine is connecting with your Divine Feminine in the physical. It feels like a coming together. It feels like a working together, a healing together. It really feels like this union energy here. And I feel like because of that, because Divine Masculine might be feeling your energy, I feel like it's helping them overcome their own ego and overcome this conflict that they felt within themselves in order to become more stable within themselves. In order to feel more abundant is also what I'm hearing. To feel more abundant. And I feel like for such a long time, these Divine Masculines were in a place where they didn't feel strong. They didn't feel courageous to embark on their own. They didn't feel like they could start a business or travel or move house or end a relationship or start another relationship or, stand up to their family or whatever it is. Again, there's 1,000 different scenarios for you guys. Take the situation as it resonates for you. But I feel like, they had really been in this scarcity and lack mindset. And I feel like they're really overcoming their ego, which is scarcity lack mindset. The ego is what puts you into that scarcity and lack mindset, because the ego likes to protect. The ego likes to hold on to what it knew. And I feel like Divine Masculine, with this transformation, I feel like they're really transforming into a place where they're overcoming their old patterns and habits and ways of thinking. This really feels like a shift in consciousness for Divine Masculine. And because of that, I feel like they're moving into an energy of abundance and strength and courage for themselves. And Leo energy here with the Strength card, this really feels like fire energy. This really feels like regal, like a royal energy, regal energy, like king energy, really stepping into their power, really stepping into their strength. They're reminding me that the last Sacred Union energy update, I believe it was, we talked about the Strength card and how it was really a taming of the ego. And I feel like that's what's happening. I feel like they have really shifted in consciousness and overcome that internal battle. And I feel like it's because of this Six of Cups energy. Tell me more about the Six of Cups. Eight of Cups and the Four of Wands. I feel like so when this card first came out, the Six of Cups, I was getting a little bit of energy of inner child energy, inner child healing that was coming to the surface. But it really feels like working together with Divine Feminine. It really feels like the two counterparts working together to heal and possibly even heal that inner child. It's almost like the inner children between the two of you are uniting and loving each other and nurturing each other so that the grown-ups, the mature parts of you, can more easily and readily love each other. And I do feel like with the Eight of Cups here, it's moving towards this stability and this security and this truth, this clarity, this Ace of Wands or Ace of Swords being that clarity here, and Four of Wands being that happy home life, that happy family. I feel like with this Six of Cups and the Eight of Cups and the Four of Wands, it's Divine Masculine recognizing that they can leave behind the past and move towards that happiness that they had always dreamed about. Again, these Divine Masculines have always been kind of overthinking. And even though they wanted to take action, they've really held themselves back or were held back. And when I say were held back, really it was holding themselves back. That was the illusion that other people were holding them back. Because really they're recognizing that they've always been in charge of their own life. And that full moon and Scorpio reading really was powerful. So I do recommend reading that. I'll put a link in the description box below. Because I feel like that's what it was. Oh, no, that's what it was. It was on Instagram and on Facebook. I had done a quick reading and posted there where it was like Divine Masculines are overcoming any anxiety, anywhere where they were holding themselves back in order to step forward into their doorway of happiness. And that's what this feels like. This feels like they're really letting go of this energy. They're really shifting in their consciousness, shifting in how they view things, their perspective, letting go of old limiting beliefs, habits, patterns of thought in order to move towards their happiness, which they can now believe in. And that's what I feel like Divine Feminine energy is really here helping to lead them, helping to shine that light for them and say, yes, this is possible. We can work together now. Let's work together now. With this Five of Swords energy, this is victory over the self. This feels like victory over that mental conflict so that they can come into this abundance mindset and recognize their strength. How are they feeling about Divine Feminine? How are they feeling about Divine Feminine? How are they viewing the Divine Feminine at this time? How's the Divine Masculine viewing the Divine Feminine at this time? That's nice. From the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords, because they're overcoming their ego, which really held them back, which really prevented them from taking action. With the Six of Swords, this is moving into calmer waters from that battle, moving towards something more positive. And I just noticed this. Look, you guys, it's a swan. That boat is in the shape of a swan here. Moving towards their Divine Feminine, wanting to move towards their Divine Feminine. Now, they are pointing out that it's still swords energy, it's still mental, so I do feel like they are thinking about this. Yeah, they're wanting to charge forward and communicate here. They're thinking about this. I feel like it's almost like it's planning stages. They're planning here. The Lovers and the Two of Wands. Yeah, what did I say? They're planning. I feel like here again we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. A decision's been made. That wool is over their eyes. They know what they want for themselves. They have this choice that was made, but now it feels like they're just planning on how to take action. Deciding how to take action. Which road do I take towards Divine Feminine? And what's beautiful about this card here is that it's being illuminated for them. You see the light that's shining down here on this one path? It's being illuminated for them, and what they're learning to do is to trust their intuition when it comes to taking action, and not to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, because they're seeing signs, they're seeing synchronicities, they're getting downloads, they're getting intuitive hits as far as how to take action, as far as what effort to be made towards their Divine Feminine with the Lovers card here in order to connect more deeply, more intimately, and to bring this connection to the next level. So I do feel like they're planning here, but they're listening to their intuition. And again, they have overcome their ego here. So I do feel like they're moving into calmer waters within themselves, finding more internal peace. Again, that union energy that we're channeling today, I do feel like there's major shifts coming in for both parties, but wanting to charge forward and take action. Now, as you guys know, if you've been on the channel with me for a while, in this deck, this is my favorite. This is the Gilded Tarot Royale. It's a new version of this old deck. And if you guys have been on the channel with me for a while, you know that this is my favorite card in all of tarot. This visualization is so powerful and so strong for me because this is Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine in their divine right, in their divinity, in their power, without the distortions. Now, there's always going to be, obstacles and challenges and shadow work and healing to be done, but this is you guys really stepping into your power. Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine embodied here. What I love about this card, this is the old deck, what I love about this card is Divine Masculine is a protector. He is the warrior. He lifts the Divine Feminine up and allows her to lead from that place of intuition. She's truly the healer, and we channeled that in the Healer Warrior reading, which I'll put a link to that in the description box below since I'm referencing it. But what's beautiful about this is he's lifting her up, he's protecting her, he's giving her that sacred space, allowing her that sacred space to be that divine feminine energy, to be free to express herself, to feel safe to express herself, to not have to repress herself. And remember, we talked about how the feminine energy had been repressed within the divine masculine. Well, that is the same for divine feminine, especially when we're talking about females. Female energy had especially been repressed, and you can just look at our society, you can look at what it's like globally when it comes to the female gender. Now, again, take it for the energy that it is, but when we're talking about in a global context, this is what it is. It's been the repression, the suppression of feminine energy. Now, divine masculine is really helping divine feminine to express herself and not feel bad about her emotions, expressing her emotions, or wanting to take the lead for herself, or being self-empowered. He is lifting her up so that she can be that empowered being, and she in turn shines her light for divine masculine to rise into his power, because he is the warrior. She is the nurturer. She is the healer. She's the guide. He is the warrior, the protector. He takes the lead, takes action from this divine, beautiful place, from this sacred place. And now, what I love about this new version is, look at how they're embracing each other. Here, divine masculine is really lifting divine feminine up, supporting her, honoring her, cherishing her. But look at this. Look at the flow here. That divine feminine energy in her flow, and look at how the divine masculine, look at how vulnerable she is within divine masculine's arms, because she recognizes that she can feel safe in his arms. She can trust him to protect her. She can trust him to hold that sacred space. And he in turn can trust her to allow the vulnerability that he is feeling as well, that he can shine his light as well, that he can be intimate and vulnerable in his self-expression as well. There's such a beautiful flow to this energy here. I just love these two cards, and I feel like that is what's happening here. He's getting out of his ego. Divine masculine is getting out of that energy of, I have to control this. If I'm not controlling this, then I'm powerless. He's recognizing that surrender. He's recognizing that vulnerability and intimacy, how to surrender to that vulnerability and intimacy, and how that makes him stronger, how that makes him more powerful. And it feels like such a paradox. It feels like such a juxtaposition, but that is in truth what happens. When you surrender to each other, you're not submitting to the will of each other. You're not bending to the will of each other. You're not giving up your sovereignty, but you're both two sovereign beings in your wholeness, in your divinity, coming together in this beautiful sacred partnership. And I feel like that is what divine masculine is realizing here. I feel like that's the wool that's coming over their eyes, that self-deceptive energy where they had their head in the sand. They didn't want to see this. They didn't want to understand this. I feel like now they are. And I feel like that's this beautiful transformation that's coming in, because they are gaining more clarity on themselves and on this connection, because that ego is dissolving. They're healing their ego in order to listen more to their intuition. So I feel very strongly like there's planning energy, there's forward motion energy. Yeah, what did I say about Divine Masculine wants to move towards stability and security and their dreams? Nine of Cups on the bottom, they want their wish fulfillment, and they're recognizing that this partnership is their wish fulfillment. And they're trying to manifest this, but from a positive, healthy standpoint, recognizing that they have the tools, they have the power, they have the ability, the sovereignty to manifest this and to co-create this with their Divine Feminine. To manifest this with their Divine Feminine, they don't have to be in that controlling energy, that manipulative energy, that egoic identity energy, that they can manifest this from that heart space. Because again, you meet on the bridge of the heart. When you're in that inner union, you're in balance with the feminine and masculine energies, and you meet in the fourth chakra, that bridge of the heart. And that fourth chakra is where you truly manifest. You have to feel it, believe it, know it in order to manifest it. Getting out of that scarcity mindset and more into this abundance mindset, this balance. Wow, this is truly, truly beautiful. What time is it? Okay, we're going to end the reading here. I just wanted a quick update to see what was going on. I'm going to end with a message from your divine counterpart and see what do they want to say to you this weekend. What do they want to say to you? What does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? What does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? I never expected it to be you. And I'm beginning to understand this connection. Yes. What were we saying? What were we saying? That blindfold is coming off. The wool is being pulled back. They're seeing the truth and clarity of this connection and connecting to themselves more. And they may not have expected it to be you. And that's possibly why they even ran. We talked about that in the beginning. You scared the crap out of them. You intimidated them because you were showing them their light, and they hadn't had that before. So you intimidated them and scared them, and so they tried to pull back and self-sabotage into what they knew, go back to the comfort of what they knew. But that is all shifting because they're having a new perspective. They're changing their beliefs that were once limited. They're removing this energy of the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, no longer holding on to the past. They're turning around and they're seeing the Two Cups, and they're seeing the Two Cups are you. This divine, beautiful connection. And where they once tried to deny it, where they once tried to hold themselves back from this connection, now they're recognizing it, and they're recognizing the beauty of this connection. Oh. I don't understand how I could fall so fast. Yeah, and I love you on the bottom of the deck to end. Beautiful. Yeah. This was a whirlwind for both of you. No matter how much time and how long you've been on this journey, it's also been a whirlwind because there has been so much healing and awakening and ascension that has happened. And so I do feel like these Divine Masculines, again, that ice has melted, that dam has broken, they're feeling the full force of their emotions. They are falling head over heels in love with their Divine Feminines because they are understanding love within themselves. Possibly for the first time, they're understanding unconditional love and recognizing that love within themselves. And the more they recognize that love within themselves, recognizing that they're worthy of that love, they're worthy of God's love, Source's love, they're recognizing that they're worthy of your love because they're recognizing the love within themselves and that you have always shown that light on that love within themselves. Really beautiful. And I love you to end it. Beautiful. What a wonderful, wonderful reading. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's update. Just again, a quick update. Make sure that you stay tuned, subscribe, comment, and like if this is resonating with you, and we'll be back with the dailies next week as well as some more collective readings. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, guys, before we end the reading, I wasn't going to pull any cards for Divine Feminine or do a separate reading for the Divine Feminine, but I was shuffling and just wanted to see what Divine Feminine was going through, do it just a quick check-in, just for myself, but the energy feels powerful, so I'm tacking this onto the end of the Divine Masculine reading. So we have the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Three of Wands that came out here. And I feel like Divine Feminine really feels this energy of union with her Divine Masculine. I feel like she feels like there's a reunion, like there's a coming together, at least energetically you're feeling that union or anticipating that union, or in the physical you feel like there is a new chapter, you feel like there is a brand new book. Really, that's what we have been channeling for the past few readings. It really feels like not just a new chapter, but like there is a brand new book that is being written for the two of you to come together in this beautiful partnership. The Three of Cups is my union card because it's the Trinity energy. It's the two cups pouring into the third. Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and Source energy itself, the Trinity energy here. It's joyful, it's celebratory, it's union energy. It feels like that harmony and that happiness. So what's beautiful about this, it's the two cups pouring into the one, the two becoming one here. That's what's beautiful about this. However, there does feel like there is an energy of waiting for the Divine Feminine with this Three of Wands here. We had the Three of Wands in that full moon in Scorpio reading, that Sacred Union energy update. And what it felt like was there's a little bit of a rocky sea that is being calmed right now. But you see how close this is. You see how close that ship is. It's not so far off onto the horizon. It's right on the precipice. And I think that was another reading, a couple of readings ago as well, right on the precipice. And I feel like that's this anticipation energy that Divine Feminine is feeling. She knows it's right there. Now, I asked to clarify this Three of Wands, and we have the Seven of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like, just like Divine Masculines are going through some minor purging of some old fears that are coming up to the surface, like we channeled in the beginning of the reading, I feel like Divine Feminines are going through this as well. They might have a little bit of a defensive heart again. They might have had this reunion with their counterpart, or communication, or some kind of sign or synchronicity from their Divine Masculine, and then there was a pulling back. Now remember, union is a process, so you might experience some of this coming together and then pulling it back, because that is the integration of the energies. Now, Divine Feminine has been learning to keep that open heart. She has been learning how to love unconditionally, and no matter what she's experiencing or seeing in the 3D, she's recognizing that as illusion. And because she's in such a place of inner peace and balance, she's able to keep that open heart. However, it does feel like, because there's this waiting energy, she might be in a place lately of a little bit more doubt, of giving into the 3D illusions rather than trusting her own intuition. And I feel like that's where this defensive energy is coming back up for her again, where she's having to go within and to heal this, to kind of retreat. We had channeled that today, that it felt like a connecting back to yourself kind of energy. It felt like a recentering yourself, rebalancing yourself. I feel like that's especially Divine Feminine energy, where she is having to continue to heal any heartbreak and see the truth of the situation beyond the third dimensional reality, the illusion of the physical plane, the illusion of what's in front of her directly. It's not easy. That is not easy to do, to trust your own intuition. Divine Feminines, you have been doing that all along in this journey, and I feel like Spirit is coming in and saying we're very proud of you, because that is not easy, because the third dimension can be so dense and it can be such a strong pull with that illusion there, but you're seeing beyond that, that it's not the full truth, that there's more happening behind the scenes. And what's happening behind the scenes is this union. It's inner union within yourself, which is helping outer union with your partner come into being, come into that physical reality as a physical manifestation of partnership and relationship. But I feel like you're anticipating this, and you know it's right there. It is right on the horizon. I mean, you can even see people in the boat there. It's so close. It's right there. And you can, I mean, it's It's so close. But I feel like some old fears, some old ego might be popping up, which is getting you into a little bit of defensive mode. But that's what you're healing at this time, going within to retreat, to focus on yourself, doing more meditations in order to move the wheel forward, because you're feeling like this new beginning is right on the horizon. You feel like there's that brand new book that's being written, that you are writing that brand new book, and you do truly feel like this reunion energy is here. Both counterparts had this Six of Cups energy. I feel like you are truly united with each other energetically, and now it's just coming into the physical. And look at all these cups energies. You have the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Six of Cups. This is very loving, very emotional energy. So you are truly feeling that love for each other, but again, there's just this little bit of ego and doubt that's coming up to the surface, which is causing some of those old walls and guards to go up, because you're having that doubt, you're having that, it's that self-sabotage energy. It's that, is this really real? And it's like the closer that ship gets, the closer your manifestation comes, that old habit of, can this be possible? Can this be real? Is cropping up, because maybe you've been waiting for it for so long, and it's almost like disbelief that it could possibly be here. But Spirit is saying it is here, and that wheel is turning, so you can put down that guard. You can heal that broken heart. You can see the truth for what it is, and what it is this union, this partnership coming into being. So let me get a couple more cards and see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to say for Divine Feminines when it comes to this connection. And I just dropped all my cards. Hold on. Yeah, Divine Feminines. There's truth coming in. This feels like this is your Divine Masculine coming in with that truth. You had this card for the Divine Masculine reading. This feels like this is Divine Masculine coming in with that sort of truth, speaking clearly, speaking with clarity about his feelings, about all of this emotion that's coming in. Now, the King of Swords can sometimes be a little more blunt. He can be a little more direct, a little less emotional, more logical, but I do feel like there is a lot of emotion behind it, especially with the Star. I feel like this is how your Divine Masculine is viewing you. He's viewing you as his star. He's viewing you as his wish, and I feel like that is the truth that he wants to say to you. So with this Knight of Wands, I feel like Divine Feminines, Spirit is saying to you, you can put down that burden. You can leave the battles, all the battles that you fought along this journey, in the past. You don't have to force or fight for this anymore, because it is already happening. It is already here. You can lay that sword down. You can lay that guard down. You don't have to fight for this connection anymore, because your Divine Masculine is going to be meeting you with that communication that you've been longing for. Again, that ship is coming in. Is there anything else? Ace of Cups. What did I say? The 2 to the 3 to the 1. It's the, yeah, you can lay that burden down. You don't have to worry, because your new beginning in love is here. It's the 2 cups that you have to offer to each other. Now you've filled up on self-love. You have love to offer to each other. And that's this divine union, pouring for each other, the love for each other into that 1 cup, the 2 becoming 1, merging those energies for this brand new beginning in love. It cannot be more clear. Really beautiful. So Divine Feminines, whatever guard you have up, whatever fears are coming to the surface, recognize it as ego. You guys are old pros at this. You're old pros at transmuting. Look at how far you've come. Look at your transformation that you've gone through. Keep going within and doing the inner healing, reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with your heart center, reconnecting with this love, because that is the truth. The rest is illusion. The truth is this love that you feel within your heart. All right, you guys, that was a quick update for the Divine Feminines that I felt called to share with you guys. I am sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you later. Bye.